Well, I'm kicking this episode off pretty much where I left off on the last one. So this is the morning after the events of last night of cutting my head, which hopefully that won't leave too much of a mark. I slept very well, all things considering. So I'm in my overalls this morning. I need to take the fan belt off and take it down to the car place and see if I can get one that will fit, and then off I go. And just to add insult to injury, it's a little bit wet today. Well, here's the fan belt, and it's obvious why it didn't last last night. It's completely shredded to bits. It's just missing a whole chunk, whole section of it's missing. So, okay, so I've got the new belt. It's as close to the original as possible in dimensions, so should be fine. So time to fit that. You can tell I was obviously tired last night because when I put the access panel back, I actually left the ratchet on the nut here, on the bolt, and it hadn't even fallen off. The belt is now on. The alternator is as slack as it goes, and it's still very tight. So I think the belt should expand a little bit, but I had to get a screwdriver and kind of lever it over the bottom of the pulley because the other two are inaccessible, and then just use the crank handle here to turn the pulley round just to get the thing to slot on there. So yeah, I think we'll give it a try. Well, everything seems to be okay here. Let's see if the rear lights are working. No, they are not. I've just checked the fuse boxes here, and I've just removed this one, which is very clearly has blown. So that must be it. Of course, when you have a fuse that has blown, you got to kind of try and figure out a reason as to why it did that, because it might just keep happening. So potentially the alternator, fan belt and everything playing up last night could have caused it, but you don't know for certain. But I'll put another one in and just see what happens. Okay, so I've put a new fuse on the lights, and I've filled up the fuel tank. I've got the sat-nav plugged in. I'm good to go. I just hope, now that I'm actually going to be driving away from the village where all my friends and family are, my comfort zone, I hope nothing goes wrong. So my journey so far has been, for the most part, successful. I've needed to do 59 miles, and the engine had been a bit jumpy from time to time. I've got 15 miles to go, and I'm on this very busy roundabout, and the engine just cut out. And luckily I had a little bit of momentum, so I've kind of pulled over on the side. But it's not really a very good place to break down. But of course it's out of my control. The vehicle's far too heavy to push. It's also uphill here. So I'm going to take the distributor cap off and see if there's a spark or not. If there is, then I imagine the engine has overheated, and I just got to wait and let it cool down.
Moving away from the island, and there's an old van broken down on the left-hand lane. So she needs to go round this van, and she's been close to the back end of my trailer when I pulled away.
I don't believe what's happened. Just on the roundabout down there, the van broke down, and I don't know why. Maybe it overheated or something. And it was an awkward place to break down, but I'd pulled over letting people past, and this woman tries to cut behind in front of a lorry to get out, and he slams into her and then pushes her car into the back of my van, and this is a real bitter blow. I honestly can't believe this has happened after all the bad luck I've had. To be honest, I think this woman was in fault, because she could see I was broken down. She was impatient, she didn't look where she was going, she pulled out straight in front of a moving lorry. I don't know what I've done to deserve all of this. So I've just been talking to the police, telling them what happened, and they're getting all the details, you know, like license and all of that kind of thing. So it just seems to be one thing after another at the moment, but the van, I did manage to get it started again and drive it off the roundabout. I think it was just overheating because the traffic was so bad, and it's really hot today, and I think it just conked out and it wouldn't restart. And once it had cooled down after a few minutes, I managed to get it going, but sadly in those few minutes a car gets slammed into the back of it because it gets clipped by a lorry. After an eventful day, I have made it to Hayling Island to see my friend Jolie, who came and rescued me. And the damage to the back of the van, although the door is all bent and everything, the rear indicator and lights and things got smashed. So we went to Halfords and we've bought this this is the one which is for like a towing bar, which is just going to be a temporary fix just so the vehicle's legal, so I can actually drive it again. Funnily enough, the rear lights that weren't working after the crash, the rear light on the offside started working again. Don't know why. So this is the base for the old indicator and brake light layout. So it had 3 bulbs, whereas this one's only got 2, but one of them is a double filament, so it should work. But the lens was obliterated into thousands of pieces spread across the roundabout, but the holes don't line up on this, so I'm just going to have to drill some new ones so I can mount it. So that is not particularly thick metal. No wonder this got so badly bent.
Straight
that was
through.
Easy. Yeah. This is not the original 50s metal. This is a customised add-on when it's converted to a camper at whatever point that was done. That's weird, it's a lot thicker there. Anyway, that's done. Well, good morning to everyone. So I slept pretty good last night, all things considering, with the impact at the back, but I've started to rewire the new lighting unit, which I need to finish today, and I've really kind of come to realise the damage, although hugely inconvenient and very annoying, it could have been a lot worse, and I came off fine, so did the other drivers, and the damage, well, let's go and have a look at it now. So I've managed to get the door open. It was kind of wedged against the floor. This hinge down here has sustained quite a large amount of damage. When I close this again for the rest of the journey, I might have to use a self-tapping screw or something just to make sure it doesn't swing open. But the actual frame around the door is not damaged, apart from at the bottom. The floor pan is a bit bent here, but I might be able to get that back. That's just the rubber matting. I think it's just this lip here by the looks of it, which I should be able to bend back by hand, you know, with like a hammer or something. And then for the actual door itself, I'm not sure if that's repairable or not, but I'm not quite ready to cross that bridge. So really, I think the only reason why the camper actually cut out in the first place was the engine must have been overheating, because I was stuck in endless amounts of traffic. By the way, if you're ever driving through the kind of Chichester area in the day, just don't bother. It's literally just, I think the entire of the UK's population of cars was all there at that particular time. I've never seen traffic that bad, even in London. So from now on, I'm going to be doing the driving at night, which is what I used to do in my Morris Minor when I had to go long distance. And there's really 2 reasons. One, the air temperature is a lot cooler and the old engines won't overheat, and secondly, there won't be any traffic, so you can just kind of blitz straight through. And then if there is a problem, which you know, touch wood there won't be crazy amounts of traffic ready to crash into the back of me again. Jolie's very kindly stitching up my torn body warmer, ready for winter.
Ready for the winter.
And this light has been put on and rewired. I had to do a bit of a bodge with the wiring there because it wasn't long enough, but everything's working, so at least it's legal again. What are you doing, Jolie?
Cleaning your beautiful blood.
My blood. There's some more on this side. This is from my accident at the petrol station. Just a flesh wound. Right, so it's been a very productive day. Done various things on this. I also got to swim in the sea a couple of times, which was nice. So I'll show you guys what I've been up to with the van today. So apart from packing and everything, the back, of course, the point of interest at the moment. I did manage to get the door open, but I've just put up this very tight ratchet strap here just to stop it from swinging open when I'm driving, so that's nice and secure, which is good. And I've also done some work on the ignition today. I've adjusted the distributor, so I left this panel off here. So we drove a bit and then I moved it a bit and just got a feel for what was about right, and also adjusted the fuel mix and things, and I've just topped up the oil and managed to spill loads of it, but that'll soon burn off. Okay, so I'm at a petrol station just on the outskirts of Hayling Island, about to cross the bridge. I've got a 240-mile journey to my destination in Wales. I'm not going to do that all in one go. I'll probably, if I get quite tired, I'll just go to sleep in the back. Joys of having a camper, so we'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so I've done about 80-something miles. I'm feeling a bit tired, so I've decided to pull over at a service station. It's practically empty, so I'm just going to go in the back and have a kip. I'm going to get on WhatsApp and let all my friends and family know where I am. My parents in particular at the moment, after what happened yesterday with the prang, are quite eager for me to get to my destination so I can just properly start working on it. But the adjustments that I did earlier on the camper seem to have worked, because it was driving so much smoother than it did before. I mean, so much better. And it really haven't had any hiccups at all, just straight down. The great thing about driving at night, like I mentioned, no traffic. The air temperature's nice and cool as well, because you see I'm a bit of sunburn from today. There's not much airflow in this cab at the moment, so it's been alright. I must admit it's quite nice coming to a service station really late at night, because the place is just practically empty and surprisingly quiet, so I just hope that tomorrow the traffic isn't bad. It's just really occurred to me that tonight's the first night that I'm staying in the camper van where it's not at like a friend or family's house, so this in many ways is my first van life night. So I'm just in the middle of a random service station on my own, and you know, it's an interesting thought. So it'd be nice one day, you know, when this is like fully furnished and I've got blinds for some privacy. So I don't know, maybe some weirdos are gonna like peer in through the windows. But I've locked all of the doors, so at least I'm locked in here, and I've got a variety of large tools that I can use as a weapon if I have to. Knowing the way that my luck's been recently, I'll probably have to do something like that. No, I'm gonna stay optimistic.